It's okay on the mic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. So many times on trips like this with wellness advocates, they always come up and ask me, Taylor, I'm really moved by this experience. Like, what else can we do to help? Which just speaks volumes, I think, to the kinds of people that we have here at doTERRA. Just wonderfully good, generous, kind people. And I just want to make the point that really the biggest thing, it sounds like a sales pitch, but it kind of is, but it's true. The biggest thing that wellness advocates can do to help farmers like Francis and thousands of others is to sell more product. The more we sell as a company, the more people that we can impact and involve in our supply chain and improve their lives for the better. So it's really true that every bottle of oil that is sold, that there's hundreds of people or more involved on the back end of that are involved in producing that bottle of oil that we're benefiting from. So let's sell more, let's grow more, because we can help more.
Yes, thank you very much.
I love this place.
That smells amazing, right?
Yes. I will help. Okay.
Because we are working with the doTERRA program.
Yeah?
We are selling.
It's different.
We are selling yours.
Yeah, it's really light.
Sweet tea.
This one is probably a little...
But when you touch it, you can
It's not like
recognize
the peppermint,
Have the
you know?
same value.
Peppermint you smell it right away, but this, it's... Oh, maybe it's because I have the smell of the both in between.
that's the reason to dilute it.
Yeah.
So you have.
Yeah.
You have.
Sure.
Okay.
Can we put it?
Yes, if you want to go watch, they'll do a bit of weighing
Yeah.
as they load into the truck.
Okay, I'm gonna do a video.
Yeah, great.
And then we join
And then
you
we're
there.
going to go here and there's a song and a dance.
Oh, awesome.
That's cool.
So, his son is 50 years old. And I was wondering how old is Francis? Who's the oldest of the village? How old are they? They don't look their age. They look younger than strong and healthy. Yeah. They live in nature, back to nature.
Simple
And
diets
simply.
and simple...
Yeah, simply. Like we should get lessons from them, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
You know,
Will tell us about her age.
Yeah.
Finally. That's a good
The oil you
question.
use, the skin is
Great, so they're just getting set up. I
I'm
think
gonna go.
Vladimir wanted a quick little video here with me.
Oh, yeah,
When I
sorry.
have.
Is it okay if I will be on glasses and not?
Yeah, sure.
And just apologize. I will not be in the camera, I guess.
Go there, put it
Okay,
there.
could you please tell Russian community your name and your superhero role here?
Corona
So everybody
times.
understands.
Hi everybody, I'm Taylor
Yeah, we
MakKey.
use it.
I'm originally from the United States, but I've lived and worked here in Kenya for many years with doTERRA. And I get the amazing opportunity to work with an incredible team of people in East Africa who support thousands and thousands of farmers. We're sitting here in one of our tea tree farmers' fields. His name is Francis. He's done a great job, continues to expand his field and his tea tree production. And it's just a real blessing, honestly, and a great opportunity. I feel super lucky to be able to work in a space like this and with amazing team members.
What was the first steps? Because you told us yesterday that step by step, door to door, you were talking with the farmers and trying to involve them in the huge project. And now the situation changed. Like, tell us this first step.
Yeah. So we selected this particular region because we had done some trials and tests on tea tree and some other crops, and we knew that things would grow really, really well. The chemistry would be ideal. But nobody around here had ever heard of tea tree, for example, or lemon eucalyptus, or moringa, which we're also now doing, right? So it took quite a bit of time to build up kind of a network of farmers. And at first, our team was going door to door and introducing themselves and saying, hey, would you like to be a part of our program? there was some skepticism, like, what are you talking about? I don't know what this tea tree, I've never heard of this kind of thing, right? But slowly over time, as we continued to just show up, to continue to deliver on what we have been promising, what we're saying, we'll go to our distillation facility here this afternoon, and people can see, oh, there's investment here, there's stability here. And so people started taking a chance, right? People like Francis here took a chance, and it paid off, right, for him. Now we have the opposite problem where we've got lots of people knocking on our doors saying, can I please join the tea tree program or the lemon eucalyptus program? And so now the tide has turned, which is great.
Yeah, that's the new thing. I didn't know that only just the Terra show farmers how to grow up tea tree. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And again, we just knew, like, first, this is a place where tea tree is going to grow exceptionally well. But second, we can do a tremendous amount of good here in a place that could use it, right? So this region was selected for chemistry,
Yes.
and for people.
So this is Melaleuca, right? Latino name. And can we eat it taken tonally or just topical and smell?
That's a great question. I'm more of
Can I just try it like this?
I'm sure you'd be okay, but I'm no expert on this in
should
terms
test.
of use.
Okay, answer. I will test.
Yeah. I don't know if it tastes so great, but
Like burp. Okay.
The first tree here from what part of the world?
so originally from Australia. Yeah. So one of the founding, one of our partners who has helped us build this supply chain is Australian, and he had a tea tree plantation in Australia, a very small one, and selected the genetics there and to ensure that we had superior genetic material to start from. It's originally from Australia.
And he come here to teach?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Nice strategy.
Yeah.
Some chemical in all of this, no chemical?
Correct. And what's amazing, particularly about tea tree, is that it really is a natural
Yes.
insecticide and pesticide in many ways, right? It naturally propels insects, and so once the tree is established, right? This has been through several harvests. It's a lot of work to begin, and it's a lot of work to harvest. You were just harvesting; it's challenging, right? But once it's growing, it really kind of can be hands off. Not a lot of input in terms of nutrition or chemical applications, right? So it's a great crop for small scale farmers because of that reason. Yeah.
Yes.
I would just add on top of that, we're in the middle of one of the worst droughts in living memory in Kenya. And the tea tree is doing great, right? It would do way better with more rain. We're all hoping for rain, right? But it's still okay. It survives. It's tough. And so people like Francis can have a healthy and viable crop even in times of significant drought where other crops are suffering.
So I like this taste.
Okay.
That's okay. It's Russian. So just this is a common question. Can I take inside or no? Taken formally? How do you think?
I would not want to answer that question on camera because I don't know. I'm sorry. I wouldn't.
Okay.
That would be for an expert in that. Yeah.
Yes, because not for recording, because for me, Melaleuca is the same Latino plant when she take inside. And when the Terra named it like tea tree, people were confused because in many, for example, drinks assist we take inside internally with tea tree, this capsule, that's okay. It's the same plant, Melaleuca, but named tea tree in Russian. And mostly people they think, okay, it's not for internal use, they're just asking.
I see.
Yeah, that was the question. Maybe you know the person who can answer this question.
Yeah, Dr. Hill.
Dr. Hill, okay. We will come to convention in Utah. We'll ask him. Oh yes, we'll be there. How often are you flying to
You see,
Utah?
even if that
Twice a
other
year.
company
Do you miss
lowers,
Utah?
they lower
I do,
because their
yeah,
quality is not like
But
yours. So you remember,
we get back
people will
enough.
buy from
It's fine. It's a great balance between the two.
Could you please, if you would have time, tell about your family, how you're feeling here, what the kids are doing, what they've found here,
Sure.
the experience?
Yeah, so I have two kids. I have two girls, a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old. My oldest was actually born here in Kenya. Then we went back to the U.S., worked at doTERRA headquarters for a little while, and then I had my our second child. But then we came back here to Kenya. We've lived here for 8 years, I guess, in total, and it's been a wonderful adventure. We've loved it. Kenya is such a friendly, hospitable place. I've come to think of it as a second home, and just really grateful for Kenya for accepting us in that way. But my kids have grown up here, and it's kind of all that they remember in a lot of ways, and it's been a wonderful adventure and opportunity for our family.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you so much. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, that's kind of you.
We were like, that was like a dream.
Thank you very much.
Kenya to see how it's going on.
Asante.
To happen. Thank you for this.
Oh, great, thanks. So glad you could be here.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I live here with my wife and my two girls. They're 9 and 11. It's been an amazing experience. We've been really lucky to live in many parts of the world, in India, in Uganda, in Paraguay, and Europe for a while, and here in Kenya. And so it's just been an amazing experience to live here and to be able to do this work. It's been amazing. So my career has been in the social impact business space. And so I've worked for a number of nonprofits and for-profit companies in microfinance, in education, companies and organizations that are doing impact work. I lived in various places working for those organizations, but I've been with doTERRA for about 11 years, living and working in Kenya and in Europe as well. Yeah, I love Kenya, and the country of Kenya. If you're going to make generalizations about a whole country, which is hard, of course, right? But in general, Kenyans are just so friendly and open and welcoming and accepting, and have really made it an amazing home for us to live, and I'm super grateful for that hospitality. I rely on a team of 225 people here in Kenya who do all of the hard work, really, right? I mean, these are amazing, dedicated people who are working on the ground every day in various capacities, and it would not be possible without them.
They all would like to know more about this partnership with the company that is sourcing like 18% of all doTERRA oils throughout the world.
Yeah.
Can you tell a little bit more about it?
Sure. Well, the first thing I would say is that doTERRA has a lot of similar partnerships with companies that are based kind of regionally in the countries where sourcing initiatives are happening, right? So in Bulgaria, in Albania, in India, in Guatemala, right? All over the world, where we work very closely with partners on the ground as an extension, really, of our sourcing efforts, okay? So Fair Oils is just one of many. That's the point I want to make. There's a lot of companies like this that are in our supply chain who share our values, who share our vision, our mission, and that we can really be partners with. So doTERRA is partnered with Fair Oils. We own a portion of the company. Corey Lindley, our CEO, is on the board of Fair Oils. I'm on their board. I work very closely with their teams and our teams at doTERRA. So we're really one and the same, yeah? And Fair Oils operates via doTERRA in Kenya, in Madagascar. There's a warehouse and a bit of sourcing efforts in Europe, in Belgium. And we just work together. We more or less just plan things together. We talk about standards together. We talk about volumes, about co-impact goals and objectives, and really work one and the same. Yeah.
Can I ask you, what is the exact role of this partner? Why do we need them?
Well, I think that's a great question. I think that partnerships are always really valuable in scaling and getting things done quickly and efficiently. And where we set up something 100% doTERRA owned, like in Bulgaria, for example, we do. We've done that, right? Where there are existing partners who have expertise, local knowledge, existing facilities, we partner with people like that to quickly turn on product and essential oil and to carry and scale our vision and our goals. Yeah.
So do they provide service for doTERRA?
Yes.
And they are working with farmers?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So my favorite plant in Kenya that we're growing that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Yeah. So each project area where we're working has its own amazing stories and challenges and opportunities. And so I love each one for that reason. I would have to say that probably tea tree, because it's the perfect crop or one of the perfect crops for small-scale farmers. It's relatively easy for them once it's established and growing to maintain it for 20, 30, 40 years. It does really well in droughts. We're in the middle of a drought right now. The tea tree is still alive. Other crops that they're farming, like maize or food crops, have really suffered. Tea tree is okay. It does well in droughts. It does well in floods. Sometimes we get floods. So it's a great crop for small-scale farming families to use. So I've seen the impact of tea tree on people's lives. I think that maybe, if I had to pick one, it would probably that.
Just the first essential oil that was planted here.
I see. Okay. Yeah. Tea tree was the first. Yeah. It's funny. So in Lunga Lunga, where we're visiting tomorrow, it was a new area. No one had grown tea tree before. Never heard of it. Had no clue who doTERRA was, what tea tree, what is essential oils. No idea, right? For quite a while, maybe a year or two, we really were trying to recruit farmers, sitting down with them, my team, knocking on doors, saying, "Hi, we're with doTERRA, we're doing this, do you want to join our program?" And there was like, what is this, So there was skepticism. Now, we have a waiting list of hundreds of farmers saying, "Please, can I grow with you?" Right? So it's totally flipped, which is a powerful and amazing story. Yeah.
That was my question. If I am a farmer and I want to work with doTERRA, what should I do? We asked Gregory Hook a few weeks ago, and now we have an opportunity to ask you.
Okay, sure. So, I mean, as with any business, it's kind of a chicken and an egg. Are farmers close to a distillery where they can process the crops? Are they in a region of the world that grows essential oils and gets the chemistry and the purity that doTERRA demands, right? So kind of all those pieces have to fit together at the same time, which can be a challenge, and which is why we've kind of concentrated in certain areas with partners that have all those pieces together. So here in Kenya, we have a pretty strict recruiting profile where we're really focusing on small-scale farmers. So there's certain size of land. Like if you have more land than that, then you can't be part of the group, right? Because we really want to focus on the bottom of the pyramid, the economic pyramid, and really focus on farmers who need the assistance the most. Yeah.
Can I ask you, Taylor, one more question about partners? So do partners own the distilleries?
Yes, they do.
They
Yeah.
do. So, okay. So the partners are owning distilleries, and all farmers are working with these partners.
Yes.
And these partners are working with doTERRA.
That's right.
This
Yes.
is how the chain is.
That's how the
built.
chain works,
Okay.
yes. And in the case of Fair Oils, doTERRA owns a portion of Fair Oils. So we own the factories together, right, in that partnership. In some partnerships, it's just the partner that owns the facility, but we work very closely together. In some cases, like in Bulgaria, we own the whole thing, right? So it depends on the location, yeah.
And who is controlling the quality of the oil, the quality of the plants?
Yeah, great question. everything at doTERRA is quality tested in the United States. So we do a lot of quality testing here in Kenya before, along the whole process, right, of harvesting and planting and distillation, batching and all that. So we've become quite proficient at that, quite good at it. But at the end of the day, the oil will be shipped to Utah, tested by APRC, and if it doesn't pass, it gets sent back. Yeah. So fortunately, we don't have to do that very often, right? Because we're working so closely together. So we know in advance that this is going to be good enough and this is going to be acceptable quality. Yeah. But the gatekeepers are always at APRC in Utah. Yeah. So we're exploring a lot of different plants. We're looking at thyme, at rosemary. We've done quite a bit of that in Kenya already. We source a lot of our thyme from the Mara, which is one of the locations on the map there, but we feel like we can do that in some other locations. So it's existing oils, really, but just trying to expand in different areas and impact more people. And, can we grow some peppermint maybe in Kenya? We're trying that. We don't know. We'll see. So we'll test things, and if it works, and we'll try to scale. If it doesn't, that's part of the process. Yeah. Yes. But I need to run more.
We can run together if you show me a place where.
Okay. Yeah. Are you a runner?
You traveled in so many countries, and probably I rely on my just one-day experience in Kenya, but I see that people here are extremely happy. They look happy, although I understand that life is not so easy. Why?
Yeah, that's a profoundly deep question. Yeah.
Do you have any answer?
I would be guessing here, right? I'm just one person. I think a lot of it has to do with hope. There's a lot of hope in Kenya of a brighter future. They've seen a lot of growth, a lot of transformation, and it's just imagining that continuing in the future. There's a lot of gratitude, and I think those two things lead, at least in my life, to more happiness, gratitude and hope. I see a lot of that here.
Thank you.
Last question. You are hungry?
I am hungry.